Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, press week. Loma calls Haney pound for pound number 1. Boots Ennis calls out Crawford. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, so a lot going on in the boxing world today. And I wanted to give my 2 cents on everything that's popping. Alright, so first of all, let's start with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. It is press week. The first press conferences will be happening on the 8th and 9th of March. There will be the first press conference on the 8th and then the second one on the 9th. I'm not sure why they're doing 2 of them, back to back like that. Hey, it is what it is. It's going to be very interesting. I'm amped up to hear what both sides have to say. Amped up to see the size difference, the beginning size differences with both fighters, because it's going to be a difference in how they look in the first press conference to how they look in the final press conference when they're both in fight ready shape, so going to be very interesting to hear what they both have to say. If there's any pushing and shoving during the press conference, if there's any shouting going on, if anybody's angry, does Gervonta Davis reveal what's going on with his court situation? It's going to be a lot to be said. I think the main thing that people are going to be looking for in that first press conference, though, is the size difference in both guys. I think because a lot of people feel like Ryan Garcia's size is going to give Gervonta Davis a lot of problems. I don't feel that way, but I do think a lot of people is going to be, fixated just on how big Ryan is compared to Gervonta Davis. But hoping for some fireworks. The press conferences are really what builds up fights. So you got to hope that there is some shenanigans going on just a little bit. Nothing too out of control. But it's always fun to have a little shenanigans, a good back and forth between both fighters. All right, let's move on. So Loma calls Davin Haney pound for pound number 1 within their weight class. Is this true? Is Lomachenko just amping Davin Haney up so he'll have the big head before those 2 guys actually get it on? I don't think so. I think Loma, he's a respectable guy. I think Loma has a lot of respect for Davin, and all the other fighters within the division. Gervonta, Ryan, Shakur, making his come up. I think those are the biggest names within the division, and I think that Davin Haney becoming undisputed, winning all those titles from George Kambosos, proved a real point to the rest of the boxing world. You can't deny that he's one of the best, or he is the best within the division. And I really think Loma has the skills to be undisputed again. But like I've said in the past, when the powers that be in boxing are done with you, they're pretty much done with you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So even though I think Loma can give Davin Haney some problems, I don't see him winning the fight, unfortunately. I do see him giving some problems if the fight actually happens, because I heard the negotiations have stalled out, so I don't know what's going on with that exactly. Perhaps next week they'll be back up and going, and the fight will be scheduled for sometime in the spring, perhaps early summer, but hopefully for the spring, because I feel like this. I want those 2 guys to get it on, get it over with, find out who's the best out of those 2. That way, once the Ryan Garcia Gervonta Davis fight's over with, then the winner of that can take on Davin Haney, and then Davin Haney or the winner, of that fight, whether it's Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis or Davin Haney, it's going to be one of those 3 guys. Hopefully, as long as everybody fights it out within the first part of the year, the winner of all of that can take on Shakur Stevens at the end, and we can get maybe 3 4 good fights out of the 135 division just in 2023, which would be amazing. You could possibly get a Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia fight, which is already, that's already good to go. That's already happening. You could possibly get a Davin Haney Loma fight. You could possibly get a Davin Haney Ryan fight or a Davin Haney Gervonta fight. And then you could possibly get the winner of that fighting Shakur Stevens at the end of the year or early 2024, which would be spectacular for boxing, man. I think it would take boxing to a whole nother. This is what we need in the sport, man. We need these guys to fight each other. Don't just keep talking about it and amping fans up for something that's never going to happen, similar to what's going on in the 147 division. Now, the 147 division was the best division in boxing for a very long time. And when the torch got passed from Mayweather, Pacquiao, Cotto and all those guys to Crawford, Spence, Thurman, Broner, these guys have done nothing but fumble the ball, starting with Adrian Broner and his antics and getting knocked out by Marcus Badana, going around humping people, going around humping grown men in the boxing ring, and then you get beat the F up, and your career has been in the trash can ever since. I kind of look at Adrian kind of like I look at Rolly. And I'm not a Rolly fan, but I think Rolly is one of those guys who's all hype, and once he gets into the ring with real good fighters, you start to see the hype. So, I would hate for the 147 division to keep falling off, man. We need Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence to fight somebody credible. And it brings me to the last topic, which is Jerron Boots Ennis calling out Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, this has been going on for a while. He's already #1 in the IBF, and he should be fighting Earl the Truth Spence Jr., but Earl, made a U-turn and tried to go fight Keith Thurman at 154. I don't know, man. But I don't even know what's going on with that fight. It's like Earl Spence is the king of getting out of big fights. So, every time I think he's going to be in a great fight, he always finds a way to get out of it. So, I don't know how he's managed to get away from Boots, but it is what it is at this point. But Terrence Crawford, he's been getting called out by Boots for a very long time. Boots really wants that fight. Crawford took David Avanzian over Boots. Already he did that last year. He could have fought Boots instead of Avanzian. Boots had nothing on the table, and he went with the Avanzian fight, and it did absolutely nothing on pay-per-view. Sold out the arena, which is good, but I could have sold more. I could have sold more fake CDs than he sold pay-per-views. But, it is what it is. So, there's a situation now with this Alexis Arocha fight that they're pushing Terrence Crawford to take. And I think that's a Golden Boy thing. Don't quote me on that. I don't exactly know, but I think it's a Golden Boy thing. And Golden Boy is trying to sign Terrence Crawford. But I don't like that fight at all. I think Terrence Crawford is going to end up really ruining his career if he takes that fight. And if he signs with Golden Boy. Now, signing with Golden Boy I don't think is that bad, but taking that fight and signing with Golden Boy I think would be a death nail to Terrence Crawford's career. I don't think fans are going to let him live down turning down a Jerron Boots Ennis fight twice. Bozzy Ennis says, it's just high risk, low reward is the reason that they keep getting looked over, but they have been in constant contact with Crawford trying to get the fight made. And it's not that Boots doesn't want to get that fight, it's that Terrence Crawford keeps turning it down. So for anybody who's saying that it's not Crawford turning down these fights, it is Terrence Crawford. He's in control of his own career. He is the boss. So when they call him and say, hey, let's make a fight, it's not somebody magically behind the curtain. It's not the wizard Bob Arum behind the curtain anymore turning down these fights. It's Terrence Bud Crawford. So stop saying that Bud Crawford didn't duck Earl Spence because he didn't sign the contract. He was in control of his own career. It was up to him to sign the contract or turn it down. He was in control of his own career. He turned it down twice now. He turned down Boots twice now. He had a chance to fight Boots instead of David. He went with David because it was easier and it was a quick payday. Now you got Boots standing right there, still undefeated, still willing to fight you, and you're turning him down again. So for anybody comes over, any Terrence Crawford fan comes over, you're getting an immediate thumbs down if you say that Terrence Crawford didn't duck or isn't ducking those two guys. Man, it is what it is at that point. I hope that fight happens. I hope he doesn't fight Alexis Orocha. Whether he signs with Golden Boy or not, I don't really care. Just don't fight Orocha. Fight somebody credible. You know, same goes for Spence. I'm hoping that Spence is realizing that, you know, Keith Thurman's not the way to go. The Terrence Crawford fight sitting right in front of you. Now, I would give Crawford a pass if he goes straight into the Earl Spence fight. And I would give Earl Spence a pass if he goes straight into the Terrence Crawford fight. But if these two guys keep ducking each other and ducking Boots, I'm going to start riding these guys like a damn horse. I'm on you now. Like, there's no reason for y'all to be doing this. And you're ruining the 147 division. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that in the comment section below. Hit that thumbs up button for me if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't like it. Holler at me in the comment section. Let me know what's popping. Hit that like button for me. Sure. Please. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, hit my Gmail, flockofcards@gmail.com. And we are Manny.
I'm too high for words, too fly for birds. Telling mother pigeons, get to rock, kick. You not listening. Baby, stop tripping. They ain't on your level. What part of that are you missing? Look, I just wanna put the cuffs on you. Take you to the room, put the cuffs on you. I just wanna lick on you, touch on you. Keep talking that shit and I'ma bust on you. You know I got it like that though. Take her to the movies, they go down in the back row. Shitting on them bitches, why you clown them like that for? She know she got it like that, so that's my baby.
Oh my. Make me feel so right. Baby, come and stay the night.
Little things you do must I remind you that I respect you.